Hello, this is student teaching round 3, and I, Joseph Bickford, will be teaching this lesson. So I will be teaching problem 2 from handout 27, and this problem is asking us 3 different questions. A, in the diagram, which angle is largest and which is the smallest, and how do we know? B, find theta, the measure of angle M, and C, find phi, the measure of angle N. So for the first question, it is asking us which angle is the largest and which is the smallest, and how do we know? So we know the side lengths, and it is always true that the angle opposite of the longest side is the largest angle. So therefore, the largest angle is n. And this goes for the smallest angle as well. The angle opposite the smallest side of the triangle is going to be the smallest angle of the triangle. So question 2 is asking us to find theta, the measure of angle M. So we cannot use the law of sines because the law of sines requires the use of angles. However, we don't know any. So in this case, we're going to use the law of cosines. So here is the law of cosines. We are just plugging in the numbers to the corresponding values of these templates that have been shown for us. And to start off the equation, we get 2.11 squared equals 3.01 squared plus 2.23 squared minus 2.301 times 1.23 times cos of theta. And after that, we just we find the squares, and then we keep going through the steps, and eventually we will get negative 6.1209 equals negative 7.4046 times cos of theta. And from there, we need to divide negative 7.4046 from each side so we can get cos of theta by itself. And after that, we will get theta equals the inverse of cos. So cos of negative 1 times negative 6.1209 divided by negative 7.4046. And when we plug that into our calculators, we will get theta equals 34.25. So the next question, question C, is asking us to find phi, the measure of angle n. So because we know the angle of theta, we can now use the law of sines to find angle n. It sounds like it would work, right? So first, we just plug in numbers to the corresponding values that go according to the law of sines. So sine times 34.25 degrees over or divided by 2.11 equals sine of phi over 3.01. And we have to get sine of phi by itself. So first we times multiply 3.01 on each side. And we end up getting 3.01 divided by 2.11 times sine of 34.25 equals sine of phi. Then we have to take away sine of phi from the right side of the equations and put it on the left side. And to do that, we end up making sine inverse. So sine to the power of negative 1 times 3.01 divided by 2.11 times sine of 34.25 equals phi. And once we plug this into our calculators, we end up getting phi equals 53.40 degrees. But wait a second. If we take the sums of angles M and M and subtract it from 180, then we can find the third angle. 34.25, which is the first angle we found, plus 53.40, the second angle, equals 87.65. And we just have to subtract that. It's got the sum of the first two angles. We have to subtract that from 180. We end up getting 92.35, but that does not seem correct at all. My reasoning for this is because we know that the largest angle of a triangle is opposite of the largest side on a triangle, but calculations say that angle Q is the largest angle. However, angle Q is opposite of the smallest side of the triangle. This means we made an error in calculating n. So now we have to go back and redo question C. And this question is asking us to find phi, the measure of angle n. And instead of using the law of sines, we'll just use the law of cosines instead. So we do the same as we did to find the first angle. We plug in the numbers to the corresponding values of the templates that we are given for the law of cosines. And we end up getting 3.01 squared equals 1.23 squared plus 2.11 squared minus 2 times 1.23 times 2.11 times cos of phi. Once we go through all of the steps, then we end up getting 126.6 degrees is equal to phi. So now we don't have to, but just for further steps to sort of give me the satisfactory of finding the third angle, we take 34.25 and we add that to 126.6, which is the angle of n, and we end up getting 160.85. Then we subtract this number from 180, and we end up getting 19.15. So this is the answer to angle Q. Angle Q equals 19.15 degrees. And as you can see, this makes a little bit more sense because angle Q, which is 19.15, is opposite to the smallest side of the triangle, which is 1.23. And it is also the smallest out of all three angles. And angle N, which is 126, is opposite to the largest side of the triangle, and it is also the largest angle. So yeah, that's how you do problem 2 from handout 27. And thank you.